Not long ago, in what we call Mexico today, the Aztecs thrived. The capital of their city was Tenochtitlan, and it had more people than London or Paris.
I am Montezuma Ixoyintan, but I am known as Montezuma too, and I've ruled the Aztecs since 1502.
One day, a strange man came to Montezuma.
Near this coast I have seen floating mountain.
I shall send 2 messengers to check it out.
Pick us! Pick us!
You 2 shall go find these floating mountains.
The 2 messengers made it to the shore safely. When they made it, they indeed saw 2 floating mountains.
The man was right. There are floating mountains.
And men fishing from a small boat?
They returned to Montezuma to tell him the news.
We have seen floating mountains and men fishing from a boat.
But the men are not like us. Their skin is white, and they have long beards.
Bring them presents. Go quickly, and when you meet them, tell them Montezuma sends them treasures as a welcome to his country.
Montezuma wanted to treat the men as guests to learn more about them. When the messengers returned, they were very scared.
The strangers were worse than our war god, Huitzilopochtli.
We gave their leader your gifts, and he demanded more.
We told him we had no more to give, and
they put us in chains. Then he lit a metal tube that shot out a rock ball and sparks. It was so loud and powerful, we fell in fear.
They had dogs as large and fierce as jaguars, and large deer, but without antlers. Who could have such wonders?
The tubes were cannons, the deer were horses, and the floating mountains were sailing ships. The strangers were Spanish men led by the nobleman Hernan Cortes.
I can defeat any army with my secret weapons.
A young woman named Malinche helped Cortes speak to the people of the coast.
The conquered people longed to break free from Aztec rules.
Cortes realized the Aztecs weren't as powerful as they appeared. He decided to march to Tenochtitlan, capture Montezuma, and take control of his people.
Burn the ships. There shall be no retreat. We must win or die.
Cortes and his army moved inland, accompanied by soldiers from the coast. More soldiers joined along the way, eager to help fight. Montezuma called a meeting of nobles to decide what to do. Some wanted to attack the invaders at once, but others wanted to lure them into the city where they could be surrounded. But Montezuma had other plans. The Spaniards entered Tenochtitlan on November 8, 1519.
Welcome to my capital.
Montezuma also gave the men a palace and assigned servants to look after them. But Cortes didn't trust the Aztecs. Montezuma was friendly, but if he turned against them, they were trapped within the city. He decided to attack first, so he marched to Montezuma's palace and put the leader under arrest.
I surrender!
Word of Montezuma's capture spread throughout the city, and angry Aztecs flooded the streets.
I cannot fight all these people. Montezuma, calm them down.
Go home! I'm not a prisoner, but a guest to the Spaniards.
But the people were not fooled. They knew the terrible truth. Their leader was a prisoner.
With Montezuma under my control, I shall do as I please.
Cortes took over the royal treasure, invaded the temples, threw down the statues of their gods, and ceased the human sacrifices. Each act just made the Aztecs' hatred grow.
A new army of Spaniards have landed on the coast.
Cortes feared that these new Spaniards would try to take the Aztecs from him. While he was gone, the soldiers he left behind attacked a religious march and murdered 600 Aztec nobles and priests. Tenochtitlan was about to explode. Once Cortes defeated his rivals, he returned to Tenochtitlan to find the enraged Aztecs ready for war. No one knows for sure what happened next. Some say Montezuma tried to calm his people down.
Listen!
No! But they would no longer listen. They threw rocks and arrows at him, and he died 3 days later on June 30th, 1520. Aztec writers tell a somber story. They say the Spaniards murdered Montezuma in a dungeon cell and threw his body into the canal. No one will ever know for sure what happened.
Now that Montezuma is dead, the Aztecs are out of control. We can't fight this many. Retreat!
Cortes knew they had to leave Tenochtitlan. They left everything behind, including their wounded soldiers. Spanish writers called that night La Noche Triste, the night of sorrow. However, it was a great victory for the Aztecs. Cortez lost half his men, all of his guns, cannons, and horses. But Cortez wasn't done. He got armies from the people who had been conquered by the Aztecs. Tenochtitlan was surrounded, and the Spaniards cut off their water and food supplies. Hunger, thirst, and disease, mostly smallpox, killed thousands of Aztecs.
I am Cuauhtémoc, Montezuma's nephew, and we won't give up. I will lead you, and we will drive back the Spaniards.
And so they did, time and time again. But 4 months later, the Spanish won. Tenochtitlan lay in ruins, and dead bodies filled the canal. It is said that 240,000 people died. The Aztecs had come to an end, and Mexico was about to be born.
The end.